I'm Dr. Thaddeus John Bell, the founder of Closing the Gap in Healthcare. Today, I want to present to you Ms. Tonisha Alston Bell. Tonisha has recently been diagnosed with soft tissue sarcoma. I want to also make you aware that Tonisha is the project director of Closing the Gap in Healthcare, and she is my daughter. And at her request, she wanted to tell her story as it relates to soft tissue sarcoma and all of the things that she's had to deal with the desire that the information that she's going to share with you today will be able to help someone else who's dealing with cancer of any kind, particularly soft tissue sarcoma. So now we'll listen to Tonisha's story.
I'm Tonisha Bell Alston. I'm 32 years old. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, and I'm married to Edmund Alston, and we have 2 kids, and we live in Charlotte, North Carolina. Julia is 5, and EJ is 10 months old.
And where did you go to college, and tell us a little bit about your professional life?
I went to undergrad at Howard University, and then I lived overseas in Japan for 2 years, and then I came back and went to the University of South Carolina for international business.
And what did you do when you were in Japan?
I was an English teacher for middle school students.
Did you enjoy that experience?
Oh, I loved it. It was great. On February 27th, I was diagnosed with synovial sarcoma, which is a very rare soft tissue cancer in my left thigh. And I was 8 months pregnant at the time. So my labor was induced 3 days later. I gave birth to a healthy baby boy, and then about 2 weeks later, I started undergoing surgeries to remove the cancer from my thigh and just recovery, and then I started chemo later at the end of the summer. Well, my mom has cancer. She has multiple myeloma, and my grandmother on my father's side had breast cancer at one point, but otherwise, no. I was about 6 months pregnant, and I was walking and doing a lot of exercise, and I developed a pain in my left thigh, and I thought I just pulled a muscle. And I was massaging it one day, and I felt like a lump there. And so I just thought it would go away, but after about a month, it didn't go away. So I asked my father, who is a physician, to take a look at it. And it was causing me a lot of pain. It wasn't actually the lump that was causing pain, but it was shooting pains down my thigh. And so because I was pregnant, we couldn't do a lot, but we did an MRI, and it showed the doctors thought that it was just a collection of fluid and that it would go away with time.
How did you later find out that it was cancer?
Well, my OBGYN, I had a high-risk pregnancy, and so I was going to see my OBGYN probably about every 3 to 4 weeks. And one day I walked into her office and I was limping, and she said, well, if the pain is so bad, then you should talk to your doctor and just have them remove it, because pregnant women undergo surgery all the time. And so we called the surgeon, and he agreed to remove the lump. No, I never thought I had cancer. I just thought, oh, it's just a lump or some imperfection or something that they could easily take out and then close it back up, and I would be good to go, continue on with my pregnancy and just have a normal life. But that isn't what happened. I had the lump removed, and the scar, the actual site of the surgery never really closed up properly. And one day the surgeon called me, and I thought he was calling just to see how I was doing, but he was actually calling to give me the news that I had sarcoma, which is very rare. And when I did a lot of research, initially I couldn't find out a lot about it, and I also saw that the prognosis was pretty grim. So. I had a great life. My lifestyle was very active. I mean, I have a 5-year-old. I went to the gym. I like to go walking, do stuff with my family, travel, just enjoying life.
Did you smoke or did you drink?
No, I mean, I drink occasionally, but I'm not a heavy drinker. I don't smoke cigarettes.
You never did?
No.
Never did smoke?
No, I never did smoke cigarettes.
Okay.
The first thing that came to my mind when he said sarcoma, and I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, what do we do? And he said, well, no, it's a little more serious than that. It's cancer. And automatically I thought death, because cancer, you know, oftentimes leads to death. And I was just very scared, shocked, terrified, you know, didn't know how to tell my husband, how to tell my family, especially because my mom was going through a different sort of cancer, but she also has cancer, so. Well, I just called my husband, and he came home immediately, and we talked about it. And then I just called my dad and told him, and I think my dad told everybody else, because I didn't really know what to say. I think, well, obviously cancer is, for a lot of people, it's a death sentence, but a lot of people live through it, and they are able to tell their testimony and their great stories about how they made it through. But a lot of times you don't hear a lot of people talk about cancer in terms of what they've been going through. You hear doctors talk about cancer, and you hear other health practitioners, but you never really hear it from a patient's mouth, what exactly it is like to be diagnosed with cancer and go through the treatments, surgeries, whatever, lifestyle changes. My husband and I are very different. I am very lively and outgoing. He's very quiet. And he deals with it. He doesn't talk about it a lot. Sometimes we talk about it, but usually we just try to keep things normal for the kids. Initially, we talked about it a lot more. Now that it's almost been a year, and I seem to be reacting well from the treatment, we talk about it a lot less. But it's been difficult. I think it's difficult because you want to talk about the negative effects, but you don't want to talk about death with your partner, because you don't want to speak those things into existence, but you still need to address those things, you know, before it's too late. Well, initially, my husband didn't want me to tell people, and I said I was going to start a blog, and he thought I was sharing too much. But for me, it's kind of therapeutic to write a blog. That way I don't have to keep telling people the same thing over and over.
What's the name of your blog?
Caring Bridge. It's a free website for people going through medical issues that just want to communicate it out to their family and friends. And so I found the website, and I just started writing, blogging about my experience and how I was feeling. And the response has been really wonderful. People are so uplifting, and people send me scriptures, they send me poems, they send me you know, just different kinds of encouragement. And then once I started losing my hair, then people started sending scarves and earrings and makeup, things just to make me feel beautiful without my hair. But I feel like the people around me have been extremely supportive. And it also helps that I'm very positive and I only see the positive things in my future. So I, don't let people get me down. Chemotherapy is, it's good because obviously it's killing the cancer cells if you get a medicine that will work for you, but it's bad because it kills all of the cells in your body. So obviously I lost all the hair. I didn't even think I was gonna lose like my eyebrows and eyelashes and stuff like that, but they're gone. The hardest part is the extreme fatigue and just the nausea, the vomiting, and just a lot of things that happen to your mouth in terms of like cold sores and thrush. And
Did your doctor, do you feel like your healthcare professionals, your oncologists, did they do a good job in preparing you for the side effects of the chemo?
Yes, they did a good job preparing me, but at the same time, it's nothing like actually being in it and having it happen. Because, they say, we don't know how you will react, but most people have X, Y, and Z. And then when you actually get it and you're going through it, it's terrible. And also, just the whole trying to find medicines that work to ward off the side effects, that was kind of difficult too. Well, because soft tissue, the synovial sarcoma is very rare, my doctor, had a team of doctors and they said that we were going to go in one direction. But because it is so rare, I wanted to get a second opinion from other hospitals because I wanted the best prognosis. And so I visited Duke first, and they agreed with what my doctor was doing in Charlotte at the time. And then after my first 2 rounds of chemo didn't work, I went to MD Anderson to find out what they thought the next step should be in terms of chemo, and if there were any trials that I could participate in or any novel technologies that they had. I think initially I had a lot of anxiety when I first started going through the chemo, and after the first drugs didn't work, I wouldn't call it depressed. I mean, I was down for a couple of days, but I don't think I've been depressed yet. I mean, I have 2 beautiful kids, and they just do not let me stay down for long. Well, I think this has affected him a lot. I mean, he is very focused on my treatment and keeping things normal for the kids, which is difficult because I'm in chemo every 3 weeks. And for about a week and a half, I can't help with anything around the house. I can't drive, and I spend most times in bed. But he has been very focused on my treatment and my care and not as focused on a lot of other things in his life. So I'm hoping this year we can kind of get back
So would you say
to.
he's been a good husband?
Oh yes, he's been a great husband.
What have you learned about your husband that you didn't know before this situation came up?
I didn't know that he was emotional. I've never seen him cry or get upset over anything before this. And I just feel like the past 10 months, we've just had some really, we've had a lot of heartbreaking times, but we've had a lot of great times too. My faith has played a huge role. Because sometimes when I just get upset or don't think I can do anything or just get upset, like, why me? Why am I in this situation? I just read the Bible or, listen to some gospel music or say a prayer, and I just feel better. But I feel like this situation has brought me closer to God, which is wonderful. So. I just want people to know that, of course, going through this is very difficult, but it's doable. And just because you're going through cancer doesn't mean that you have to stop living and enjoying life. And, I think at this point, I should do the things that I love more and spend more time with the people I love because, our time on earth is not promised. I have definitely sought the best care out. Initially, the first surgeon that I saw, he was very well known for doing cancer removing surgeries in Charlotte, and his team seems to be very knowledgeable. And my oncologist has sought help from the doctors at MD Anderson to find out, because they have more experience dealing with synovial sarcoma, what they think we should do. And when this medicine was working, he reached out to the doctor at MD Anderson to see if we could increase the dosage. So he has been great, and I feel like he has reached out to other doctors when he didn't know what he was supposed to do. I look positively towards the future. I mean, I've changed my lifestyle a lot. Right now, I'm a practicing vegan.
Tell us a little bit, what does that mean?
So vegan means I don't eat any animal products. So
Why
I don't eat, because there is some literature that suggests that consuming animal products takes away from the natural works of your body and from your immune system and just the processing. And because I'm going through chemo and it's already taxing my system a lot, that I should just stick to natural, like a lot of fruits and vegetables. And that's been really good because I find that when I do eat the fruits and vegetables, I don't feel as tired with the chemo, I don't feel as tired, but also I bounce back quicker. And I notice that from just eating, like even if I'm just eating bread versus fruits and vegetables too. So, but it's very difficult. But in the back of my head, I just keep thinking that this is gonna, lead to a longer life and a better quality of life in the future. And I do hope to get back one day to eating meat again. No, because I had already cut my hair off twice, very low, so I could be natural. So losing my hair wasn't that big of a deal. But losing my eyebrows and my eyelashes was.
Was a big deal?
It was a big deal because, once you cut your hair off, then you can really see your facial features. But once you lose your eyebrows and your eyelashes, you kind of you look very sickly. Like, people don't look at me and think, oh, she just cut her hair off because that's a fashion or a trendy statement. They think, oh, she's sick. And so people automatically know that I'm going through chemo. So. Well, my 5-year-old daughter, Julia, I always wanted her to be independent and think for herself. And I think that this experience has really taught her to think outside the box. Obviously, mommy doesn't have hair. And
does she know why, you think?
I told her that mommy is on some strong medicine that caused her hair to fall out, and she knows that mommy takes the medicine every 3 weeks. But she also has really enjoyed spending time with her aunts and different people that have come to help us during the weeks that I have chemo, and different family members. And I mean, it's been bad, but it's been good. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. So I think we made the best out of a terrible situation. I started meeting with a holistic consultant, and she changed me into a vegan, so that was the first thing. I also started taking a lot of natural herbs, natural herb pills, drinking a lot of different teas, detox teas, kidney teas, just to help the chemo go through my system and not tax my body as much.
Did you consult with your doctor about any of this?
Yes, I told my doctor about all of that.
Okay.
And I mean, he basically said the chemo was very strong, so you know, I could do it if I wanted. As far as being a vegan, he didn't necessarily agree with it, but he didn't disagree. And they said at this point they just need me to eat a healthy, well-balanced meals.
Right.
So whether that's cutting out meat or keeping meat, whatever I need to do. I haven't been able to do a lot of exercise because the chemo I'm in chemo for 1 week, Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 p.m. That's 5 days a week. And then the following week I'm recovering, and
What does the recovery involve?
The recovery involves sleeping, a lot of just dealing with the side effects, nausea, vomiting,
Diarrhea?
sometimes diarrhea, not so much diarrhea, I'd say more constipation than anything, but the change in my diet has helped that too. A lot of times after I have chemo, I can't think clearly. My hands shake a lot. I feel a lot of noise makes me upset, like where I just can't function. I just need like peace and quiet just to kind of get over it.
Right.
So that's for about a week. And then the following week is when I'm back to normal. And I do go walking sometimes, but a lot of times there's so much stuff to try to get done in that week that I'm usually running around trying to go eat lunch with Julie at her school, do different things that I need to get done to prepare for chemo the following week.
And of course, EJ.
Yes, EJ is so sweet. He's only 10 months old now. So when he was first born, my mother-in-law came and stayed with us for about a month because I was about to undergo surgery and I was in the hospital for a couple weeks for that. So EJ is very friendly. He will go to anyone because we've had so many people in and out of our house to help us that he is just such a lovable, friendly baby. Yes, so my mom also has cancer. She has multiple myeloma. It's been difficult because when I was first diagnosed, she was in the hospital. And then when I had the baby, of course, she couldn't come down here and we couldn't really travel because I was going through surgeries and recovery and just a lot of doctor's visits. Now it's very difficult because she is in and out of the hospital, and because I'm going through chemo, I can't be in the hospital because I need to stay away from sick people. And also because I have 2 young kids and hospitals aren't really a great place for them either. So it's just been difficult to try to spend time with her, because I can't be there. I can only really talk on the phone, and she's in the hospital because she's not doing well. So it's just it's very difficult. But it's also difficult because she has cancer, which is the same thing that I have. So I'm trying not to see myself in her, trying to just stay positive and think about beating this.
Yeah.
So.
And in your sister, she has certainly been in your corner and gone through a lot with you.
Yes, she has. I mean, initially we were both dealing with my mom's situation together, which was difficult, but now it's even more difficult for her because now she's dealing with her mom and a sister, and she's trying to be there for both of us, which is difficult. But it's also brought us a lot closer, and she's been coming to stay with us a couple weeks for a week at a time whenever I have chemo. So she gets to spend a lot of time with Ed and Julia, and so it's been nice.
And with your father being a physician, how do you think this has affected your dad?
Well, I think obviously it's different because I'm not a patient, I'm his daughter. So it affects him more so than his patients, but also because he's a doctor, he knows the prognosis and he understands the complexity of what I'm going through, and what the battle that I have going forward. I just like to say thank you to everyone who has prayed for me, sent me cards, letters, emails, donated to my fundraiser, thought about me, sent positive wishes my way. I mean, they are really amazing, and it makes me feel like I'm on cloud nine. And that's why I always tell people, even though 2013 was one of the worst years of my life, it was one of the best years because I've never felt this much love from, outside of my inner circle. It's just amazing. Like neighbors, people that don't know me, they just read my website, or people that know people that know people that know me. It's just been wonderful. It just proves that there are wonderful people everywhere.
And I know you want to give a shout out to the AKAs.
Oh, of course. I would love to give a shout out to all of the AKAs, especially my line sisters, who have just been so wonderful to me this past year. I mean, always they're wonderful, but they've just gone above and beyond this past year. And also the South Charlotte chapter of Jack and Jill, who has also been wonderful and helping my family by bringing meals to us every time I have chemo, and just doing things with my daughter and just being great friends and coming over for girls' nights and just being there for me. So I really appreciate that.